there are hundreds of thousands of animes in the world, and I've seen a pretty good chunk of these animes. Animes that are for sure peak fiction and no one can say otherwise. Animes that are okay and decent, but you'll probably never watch it again. And then there's those trash animes that I really don't like talking about. I mean at all. Like, what is this, bro? But after all this time, I think there is one anime that stands above the rest. Now, this is an opinion. You're either going to agree or disagree, but Attack on Titan, in my opinion, is the best anime ever. And I get it, for some of you, it's just way too hard to hear, I know. But something has to be the best out there. And we can take this to different levels. We can talk about the genre that Attack on Titan falls into. Maybe we should talk about anime as a whole together. But I personally believe that this is the best TV series ever. So for all the Breaking Bad and Walking Dead fans, I've seen those too. And they are for sure spectacular, but they are not this. So in this video, I want to give you reasons as to why Attack on Titan is the best series ever. And feel free to give me and others civil, that's right, civil discussion in the comments. And finally, this is a spoiler video, so you should have seen everything within Attack on Titan before you watch this one. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Attack on Titan has so many reasons as to why it's the GOAT! And there is a couple of them I want to point out as to why Attack on Titan is just better than other series. And of course, the easiest thing to point out is a character's importance. You know those animes that have way too many characters and they don't know what to do with them? That does not exist with Attack on Titan whatsoever. If a character has a name, then they have some type of importance to the story. The easiest group to point out is the main cadet corps that we start off with the series. You can assume that Mikasa, Armin, and Eren are going to be important no matter what. But what about characters such as John and Connie? At the beginning of the series, most people don't know these characters' names, and it's hard to care about them because they weren't too important at the time. However, if you reach the end of the series, both Connie and John survive, and these two characters had a very sad moment towards the end. Now, at the beginning of the series, you never thought you'd care about Jean and Connie, but these characters prove their importance, especially Connie. With the unfortunate event that happened with Connie's village, we find out what Titans truly are. Mind you, this is not a main character such as Eren who found this out, it's that cue ball Connie, and the list goes on past these two. Let me give you some more examples. Erwin, who was the commander of the scouts, met his fate in the end of season 3, but this character did not only help reclaim one of the walls, but he also chose to give his life to save a young Armin. Now, of course, the smarter play would have been giving the Titan to Erwin, but he realized giving the ability to someone that has young potential is greater than himself, and who knows how quickly he could have changed things if he was the Colossal Titan. But at the end of the day, he gave it to Armin and it ended up working out. Another character that was very important to the series is Gabby. Now listen, I'm with you too. I hate Gabby. I know the song.
Fuck Gabby, 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 fuck Gabby. Eren ain't did nothing wrong.
But I will not deny that Gabby became a crucial part of the story no matter how much I hate her. This was a young character that only knew war since she was born, so everything she did within the series was for her people. Now, of course, the most obvious thing she did was killing our potato girl. And again, I'm still bitter off of that. That was hard to watch. But looking past the love of best girl Sasha, you realize that this had to happen. If Gabby never took initiative, she would have never been taken back to Eldia. Marley and soldiers would have never looked for Gabby and Falco, and we would have never had an interaction with Gabby and Sasha's family. And plus, in a weird way, this ends up being the reason that Falco gets his Titan. So as much as I hate to say it, Gabby was a needed character. But please don't get me wrong, it's still
Fuck Gabby, fuck Gabby, fuck Gabby.
Now that we've established that Attack on Titan has one of the best rosters ever, this roster has to play a role somewhere. And this brings me to my next point of perfection, that Attack on Titan has the best story. Now, in case you're wondering, Attack on Titan is split into two different parts. The first part that most people know about is Save Humanity from the Titans. Now, this part is season 1 through season 3. For majority of the show, we don't know that there's another world past the walls. And even when our characters make it to the sea within season 3, they don't know what's past the sea. This is a point of the story where some of our characters technically have stopped. Most characters don't need to see anything past this plot right here. You have freedom within Eldia, and plus you can go anywhere you want to within your island. So characters such as Armin Arler were willing to accept what they see at their feet. And for some people, you really wanted to know the backstory of what happened. You now understand as a viewer that Titans are being created through people, and that there's some weird type of shot that's being forced on Eldians. So even though it's true that there is a world past the sea, you don't need to see it. The plot that you have seen of Save Humanity Within the Walls is complete. However, once we get to season 4, that's when the new plot begins. Here we follow the Eren Yeager plot, where there is someone else causing the issues. And instead of just accepting the world for what it is, Eren believes there's more to the world. And now we get the new plot of why us, going against the antagonist group that took away from you. So within this part, we get to see our heroes go against years of hatred. And with this plot, it now evolves into something you can't believe, such as Eren Yeager having some type of control before he was even conceived, and also seeing the levels of sacrifice Eren went through to achieve his goal. And I shouldn't just say it's Eren Yeager's sacrifices, because he's sacrificing other people. So now you ask the question, was all of this actually worth it? As I mentioned before, some characters were willing to stop when they found out the truth. But some characters choose to not accept the truth and want to go further. So you can choose between the two different plots with Attack on Titan, but they're both great. But when it comes to a plot, we need a reason to care about it. And I think that's a great third point, because you care about what's happening. You see, to care about this series, you need to know everyone's point of view. Within the 4th season, during one of the special episodes, we see Armin and Zeke having a conversation. Zeke explains that he really did not understand what Ymir wanted, and he really struggles to understand the purpose of life and why fight for it. But during this scene, we see Armin hold up a leaf in front of Zeke. The important part of this is, on the other side, Zeke does not see a leaf, he sees a baseball. Now, if you don't understand the meaning of this, they're insinuating the meaning of life per person. Everyone has a different reason to live, you just have to find out that reason for you. For Armin, nature was what he lived for, being able to explore the world and seeing everything he could. On the other hand, Zeke was perfectly fine living life with his successor playing baseball. While whatever object Armin holds up to Zeke is the same object, they perceive it differently. And that's what the meaning of life is whatever you find happiness from. And I hate to say it, but Eren Yeager found his meaning. From the beginning of the series, we realized that Eren Yeager just wants to be free. However, to be free, he had to take away from those who took from him. We even had a scene where Eren Yeager took from everyone he possibly could, and he found freedom. Now, I of course cannot support mass genocide and say that's the way to go, but that's what he did. And towards the end of the series, we get a final scene with Armin and Eren talking. This is their quote-unquote final moment, but tells us a lot about Eren Yeager. He shows us several times that he is not just a crazy antagonist to the series. In matter of fact, when Armin teases him about Mikasa, he cries. We realize that Eren Yeager did not commit mass genocide just because he felt like it as an evil villain, but instead our character had the power to fight for what he thought was right. And when it comes to this series, Eren believed that hate upon a nation is just wrong, and instead of going Zeke's way of causing euthanasia, he believed that you should get rid of the people that cause the wrong. And he does admit doing so, he killed more than 80% of the population. But the question now becomes, was Eren Yeager actually right to do so? Again, I cannot say that killing innocent people is the right way to go, but he for sure got rid of some people that would have caused more harm than good. While Eren does state that he did it for his Eldian race, he still realizes that what he did was a sin. Now, Armin does state one more time that he accepted the world for what it is. When he found out that there is another world out there where people do cause hate, he stopped. However, Eren decided to look past the waters and went forward. This character embodies someone that believes that they can change the world. But is that really good or bad? I don't know. You let me know in the comments down below what you think. But this is a prime example of what I mean by care. You and I live in a world where this happens all the time. Matter of fact, it's happening right now. But do we have the power or the care to do anything about it? Some people can only accept the world for what it is and move forward with their life, and some people will put their lives at risk to try to make change for others. I can't say either way is right or wrong, but that's what Attack on Titan embodies. Attack on Titan is perfection, a show that tries to tell you to find the meaning of life for you. A character like Eren believes he wants to find freedom, and freedom is going anywhere you want to be. So for a character like Eren, his life did not stop if he decided to stay with Mikasa alone. While that could have been an option, he chose chose to try to fight instead. That is his meaning of life, and he was right to try and see if he can make a change. And towards the end of Attack on Titan, we're told one final truth. After it has been years that humanity continued to go on, nothing has changed. The war and hate that Eren wanted to abolish has never stopped. In other words, history will repeat itself. So technically speaking, even though Eren tried to get rid of the human race, was it even plausible? Because eventually the human race will come back. And as we're shown as viewers, nothing has changed. Now, I'll say this again because the series is completely finished, but I believe that Attack on Titan is the best animated series ever. And while I believe that this is perfection, I still want to know what you guys think down below. Again, this is completely opinion based, but I can for sure make this go further past just anime. So tell me what you think of the series down below. And with that, I just talked about a crazy series called Metamorphosis over here. If you want to see some more content like this, such as anime reviews, show some love to the channel. I appreciate you all for watching. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Peace.